Hey everyone, I'm Briscoe Diggs, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Today, I have with us, or we have with us, a fantastic designer. He's been a friend of mine for 40 years. I was only 12, so I don't know how that happened. But ladies and gentlemen, my brother, Epperson. Welcome to Real Talk.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I,
After all these years, I haven't seen you in like 40 years. How about
I know,
that?
right? How did we be friends all this time in 40 years? It's crazy.
Distant,
Yeah,
distant.
right. So
But
first of
yeah,
all, uh, let's talk about what's going on in the world today. How are you and your family dealing with COVID and this crazy pandemic? Especially y'all live. He's in New York. He's a native New Yorker. His family's in New York, so you guys were hit pretty
right.
hard as other places were. So how are you holding up?
Yeah. Well, how are we dealing with it? It's
Yeah.
like every day it's sort of something new.
Hmm.
But the first couple of months we stayed real close. No one's really going outside.
Hmm.
We'd go to shopping together, or we all we're right by Central Park, so we take a walk around the Mere, and that was our walk.
Hmm.
And all have our masks on.
Yeah.
I made masks, and
Yeah, of
yeah, we'll
course.
go into that. Yeah, I made some great masks, and all of a sudden, I have a photograph of all of them sitting on a bench wearing a bought mask. Meanwhile, I have masks and I'm selling masks. So I was like, this is really nice, but that's family. So, but yeah, it was really tough. It's kind of, it's unstable. My internet connection is unstable. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
you're fine. I can see you're doing well.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah. See, my kids would have been here to correct me. I'm like, anyway. Yeah. So it's really been tough. But as a family, we said we're gonna just really ride this out. I have two teenagers, so their heads are. They wanted my son. He had to come back from college,
Oh, okay.
and and my and then my daughter, she was graduating high school during that time, so she couldn't grad. She
Oh, man.
really didn't have a graduation, no prom. All of
Mhm.
her trips were canceled. It was really disheartening.
Right.
But now she's in college, so we dropped her off at college. So we have two of them in college now, and we have two younger ones that's been doing school at home
Hmm.
and remote. And now we're doing. We just started going back to school.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're in a private school, so it's like sort of separate. It's like
Hmm.
8 to 10 kids in one class.
Okay. Well,
So it's doable
yeah.
for now. We'll see as it progresses. We'll see how that goes.
Right. So I know definitely that
Yeah.
you're gonna vote, but we don't have to ask who you're voting for because we already know. I mean, I'm not. I'm assuming. But the voting thing that's going on right now is like, can you hear me?
I know. Yeah,
Oh
it,
yeah.
it
Yeah.
it skipped for a minute.
Oh
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh yeah. Damn right. I mean, we're
Yeah.
definitely voting.
Yeah. 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 I dropped off my ballot yesterday, and I
Right.
was kind of leery. There was this big giant box with the guard in front of the library watching the box. I'm like, okay, put it in there, but I'm like,
Right.
please, because we have to change this. This is nuts. Can you believe growing up in New York City, we knew about Donald Trump, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, I cannot believe he's our president. This is crazy. Oh, he was never a good
It's
man.
insane.
Uh,
It's
so
insane. It's
it's
like
nuts.
insane.
It
Like
really
when
is.
like the Central Park Five. Remember the
Right.
whole Central Park Five thing?
Mhm.
Accused the kids. They went to
Yeah.
jail. He posted on all of the newspapers
Mhm.
their faces, and they
Right.
were kids, and they didn't do it. And then all this time they didn't do it.
Right. So
And he's supporting blacks, and
mhm.
and there are blacks that are listening to this
Oh
mess.
my goodness.
But it's really ridiculous.
It is.
I don't know. I don't know. They drank the Clorox as well.
Seriously, and they were at this rally yesterday with no social distancing,
Yeah.
and it's in my mind. I'm thinking that he's like, okay, let's get all them Latinos and blacks in one space so I can cough on them and get them. He doesn't
Yeah, but
care.
he doesn't care, but
Mhm.
he wants to vote, and these
Mhm.
idiots are out there like, woo,
Yeah. Ooh.
he's helping us. It's like, you know,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
It's
it's so
problematic, but
it's insane.
I can see it's going to change. We're all on the side of right, and when when a lot of these people look back, they're gonna they're gonna feel so bad, and hopefully, in a way, they be redeem
Hopefully.
themselves before they go
Yeah.
off to where they need to go, because there's a reckoning coming for. It seems like it's common sense, but they just don't. It seems like people just don't get it. Uh,
Right. No, comments, a lot of people don't have that.
no,
So,
it's scary.
it's like, the, this virus is a hoax
Mm,
still to so many people.
yeah, that's
And no,
no,
people are dying around you everywhere.
mm,
And you're still talking about, oh, it's the government, or it's
you're
this, or it's
right.
that. People are dying. Oh,
Mm,
and I decided I don't want to wear a mask because, but you may have it and you could pass it on,
mm-hmm,
pass it on to your loved ones, and it's
mm.
just so selfish.
Yeah, very selfish. It sucks,
It's,
but
it's, it's weird.
as long as we're doing the right thing, we can. So let's segue to something else. It sounds kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's like we
okay.
try not to talk about
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
it's
I
in
just
the
wanted to
air.
make sure that you were doing okay and everything. But so let's talk about, okay, when we met. We met at work. You were working at Alexander's, and I got a job. It was a department store in New York City that's no longer there. You guys, for people that
Right,
don't know, uh,
right.
and you are the display artist, right?
Stylist, they called it, yeah,
Yeah,
visual. Yeah,
yeah.
visual display. Back then it was display. Yeah,
Display, right? And I was a salesperson in the men's department, and we met one day, and we would just hit it off, and we were like Three Musketeers. We had our friend Violet Brown.
oh yeah, I love Violet. Yeah,
Love her to
she's,
death, love her so much.
yeah,
So we were just like the Three Musketeers, and it was a great time in my life. I got to wear Epperson clothes, some of them that people were not wearing yet. I got to wear
right,
these fashions around New York City, and he you were ahead of your time as far as your fashion. You were just always
yeah,
ahead of it. And people were
yeah,
like, where'd you get that from? Oh, my friend Epperson. It's like, I felt like a star every time I put something up. I remember there was a beautiful red turtleneck you had that I
right.
loved. I love that shirt. And I'm
Right.
like, anytime I can go and wear anything that you had, it was a privilege and a pleasure. So
Wow, thanks.
yeah. So uh,
Well, I remember that red turtleneck. My
yeah,
gosh.
it was
Wow.
one
Yeah.
of my faves. So let's go back. How did you get into in fashion? What was the catalyst for that? Was uh
When I was younger, like even like 8 or 9, my mom's friend had a sewing machine, and I wanted to use a sewing machine, and she let me borrow it, but I could never. It never worked because the bobbin was messed up, and
mhm.
she didn't know how to work it, and so I ended up giving it back to her. But I was always collecting like Ebony Fashion Fair
Oh yeah.
photos from the magazine, and my brothers, they had like at that time the Coliseum, it was a car show every year,
Okay.
and they would hang the posters up all around their room, and I would hang my pictures around my room. So I think I've always had a little fashion or something in me. And then once I got into high school, I wanted to get to know this girl named Rhonda, and she Rhonda Fountain, and she so I took the class and to get to know her, and got to know her, and it was like, and I basically didn't work out.
Okay.
So I realized I got like a 80 on my report card,
Mm,
then I got an 85, then I got a 90. It just kept going up. I wasn't that kid in school.
mm.
My sister Gail, she when we get report cards, she'd run home with her. Who I got all skipping home with a report card, and I would say like, we didn't get ours today.
Yeah,
We
right.
didn't get ours. Lie. So once I realized that I was getting these high grades, I said, there's something here. And it was during the time Mahogany came out,
Oh
and
God.
Diana Ross and Mahogany,
Yes.
all of that. My teacher used to compare me to that. She's like, "That's the type of designer you want to be." I mean, Miss Perry. I wish if she was living now, it would be beautiful. But
Right.
yeah, so it started then, and then once that happened, I you know, I moved. I was living with my brother at that time. My brother, the family,
Mm,
and I ended up moving out of that house, my family's house, into my friend's house in Queens. And it just so happens, my Gail was dating my sister, was dating the brother, and I was dating the sister
okay.
in that house. And we ended up moving in with them. And both of their parents, the mothers, were designers.
Okay.
So I ended up learning how to sew from that point on. We used to do the Brooklyn Flea and the Belmont, not Brooklyn Flea, I'm sorry. We used to do Belmont Racetrack.
Okay.
And from that, we, piecework, sewing every night, every night, every night, and then selling it on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I learned I really learned on my sewing. So it all just had to happen. Everything moved, is continuing to move in that direction.
Right. So I
So
noticed that
that's really how I got started.
you evolved throughout the years and you become really successful. I remember back in the 80s or maybe the 90s on Martin, the hats that one of the characters used to wear on Martin used to make
Oh,
those hats. And
right.
I'm like watching TV,
Yeah.
I'm like, Epperson hat.
Oh,
And it was just, I remember.
no, that's so funny because I just showed my kids that a couple of months back. I was like, wait, he has my hat on. I said,
Yeah,
look, he's wearing my hat. I totally forgot. But
right,
at the time, during that time, yeah, I had my hats in different shops and stuff like that. And John F. Kennedy Jr. used to wear my hats.
right. Oh,
He
that's
used to come
amazing.
to Charivari and buy my hats all the time.
Right.
Um, Salt and Pepper,
Mm-hmm.
they wore my hats. Foxy Brown,
Right.
Mary J. Blige, one of my tops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was sort of like weaving in and out. I
Right.
was never really a part of it, but
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
I'd contribute.
Right. Right. Well, that's really good. I just um, the world needs to see Epperson, and I know that things are evolving towards that even more. But I remember a few years ago, maybe it was quite a few years ago, you were on Project Runway. How was Project One Way? How was that experience for you? Was that a positive or a negative experience for you? Because I know you're kind of a private person, even though you're
Yeah,
put clothes on public figures. I know you're
right.
kind of so.
It's interesting because it was it happened it was 12 years ago. My daughter's
Well,
12 now.
that was wow,
Yeah, season 6.
wow.
My I was sort of going through like a what the hell am I doing time? Like, am I really serious about this fashion? And sort of feeling like, okay, it's not working or whatever.
Mhm.
And then Project Runway reached out to me. I didn't audition. I didn't have to do all that. Yeah, they
Awesome.
asked me to, and I was just like, I thought it was a prank. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, who sent me this? And I had the attitude like, oh, okay, I'll do it. That's
Right.
the attitude I had. And there were people that were
Ah.
signing. No, really, really, like, really. And I'm like, yeah, and and that's why. And that I went in with that feeling,
Mhm.
and so it was quite an experience. I love Tim Gunn.
Yeah.
He's everything on this show. Um, that was it. No, stop. It was an experience. It was an experience. It was a crazy experience. It felt interesting being away from everything. I was away from home. We shot it in LA,
Oh, that's right. I
and
remember you.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I remember you telling me. Yeah, yeah. That's weird because
yeah, we
I
shot
just
it in
moved to
LA.
LA and
So
you just done. You're just going back to New York after you were done. So it was kind of weird.
right, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So
Right.
we are there for almost like a month,
Mm.
close
Oh,
to a
okay.
month, and yeah, it was a great time because I was able to like really just focus on what I was almost like my purpose. Everything was okay at home. I didn't
Mm.
have to worry about this. My job was on hold, and
Mm.
I was able to do tunnel vision.
Right.
But it was just interesting dealing with these different personalities.
Yeah.
I was like one of the older people on the team on the show, and these brats. It's just like crying about everything. It's
Mm.
just like, shut up.
Entitled. Entitled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I was basically at one point I was like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Mm.
I was like ready to leave. It's like this is crazy,
Right.
and but I just kept going, and I'm watching how the judging went. I was just like,
Mm.
like one of my pieces, the rodeo. I
Right.
was
I
like,
remember that. Yeah.
the director came up to me and says, she doesn't understand how I didn't win that one. I'm like, if you saw that, then everybody saw that. So
Right.
I can't go crazy with that. And
Right.
then the brat that won, he ended up winning because Heidi was like, oh, my daughter would love this outfit. And he glued the pieces on.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to glue, but they didn't call him out. And I wasn't
Mm.
going to be that person to say he glued it. I'm not here for that,
Right.
But I
Right.
did, but I was just telling my son last night, I did get into a situation arguing with one of the designers. I was like her assistant, and
Oh, I
she was,
remember that. The
yeah,
black
this is
lady.
really cute. I was like, whoa. I'm trying to be calm. I'm on TV, Want to see some angry black man on TV? That's not what you're gonna get here. That locks, the only time you saw that was on, that bad show like Bad Boys. What you gonna do? Like one of those.
Right, right.
I'm not gonna be him on TV.
Mm-hmm.
My family's watching. My clients are watching.
Right,
I've been doing this too long to get on TV to act like a damn fool.
right.
So I said, that's not going to happen.
Mm.
And she just kept pushing it and kept pushing it. And she just, I don't know what kind of women you used to dealing with. I'm like,
Oh, no.
oh. I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? I did like this behind the scenes. I said, they want us to fight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she comes out and to Heidi and all of them and says, she said that I said that. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, she was. Bye.
Right, exactly. So that was that, and it was an experience. I got what I feel like I got great exposure. People would run into me. And it's not like I got so much business from it, but recognition.
Right.
And it was just beautiful. There were times I was walking down the street, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to walk into a store, and I'm like, okay, it's nothing like being famous without wealth. That's not the answer.
Right. I understand.
I'm like, oh my God, can I have your autograph? I'm like, girl, you don't even know it.
Right.
So I could sell it to you. I could make money selling my autograph. They're like little girls that run screaming, oh my God, it's Epperson. And they're like little groupies. And it was really sweet, you know? And I received it well because I'm presenting a show and you're watching the show and you're supporting me and you like me. So how am I going to not sign my autograph?
Right.
I ran into several celebrities at one point and they have this whole attitude. And it's like, dude, it's like, without me, who are you?
Right. Exactly.
Without us, who are you?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
So, so recognition and I did it.
Right.
I project graduate.
Right. I know. Would you ever consider doing the All Stars if they ever asked you? I knew that was the answer. I could tell.
No.
There's no reason actually, but I was just wondering.
No, because I it's not a game to me. You know what I mean? It's not a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get out there. You're not going to trick me to say and do certain things.
Yeah.
And no. This is what you get. Like there were people. I remember people responding to me about me. He's so zen. I'm like, I didn't know I was zen, but the only time, whenever Epperson speaks, we have to turn the TV up. It is, it's like don't read your messages, people, because all of them aren't great.
Right.
Everyone doesn't love you.
Oh, I did a video. I was singing on my own by myself, just playing around, and I uploaded it on my YouTube channel, not my talk show channel, but my Briscoe Diggs channel. And somebody wrote, horrifying. Horrifying. I'm like, what? Was it that bad? That's when I stopped reading. I'm like, I'm not reading these links. And it was the bad part about it was I was singing a song because I was talking about how I'm surviving HIV. They didn't care. They're like, die, stop singing.
It's like die already.
Please. Oh yeah, reading the good or the bad reviews, it's not worth it because if you read the good ones, you're like, oh, no.
Right. I'm like, that's nice. I would respond. That's nice. I almost want you to respond to some of the negative ones, but I'm like,
no. I responded to some of the most recent ones, and I'm getting a lot because my father, my biological father, is famous. So when people find that out, they kind of take that too far. I'm like, let me explain to y'all. I am so happy that my father is my father because I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have my DNA and wouldn't be, who I am. But my dad is the one who raised me. So, not every man who can father a child can be a dad. Okay. Yeah. And it takes a real man to be there for a child. And Al Diggs he's the man. He's still there. Still old man, still there. He's my dad. And he gave me a cool last name because as much as I love my Puerto Rican side of my family. I love my brother and my nieces. My father's last name was Negroni. Being black named Negro,
Yeah. No,
I'm sorry, y'all.
they'll never say the whole thing.
No, my brother said, let's start a band, be the Negronis. I'm like, you know, when they call us the N-word, couple of
No,
no, let's not. Let's
you're
not.
asking for it. You're
Yeah,
asking for it.
asking for it, right? But my brother
Totally.
looks more Puerto Rican than I do. He can get away with the
Right.
Negroni because he looks like, you know, Well, yeah. But anyway, I don't know how
Still too close. He
it's
could be
way,
white. He
way
could be
too.
white and called Negroni. That's still wrong.
Yeah, still wrong. And my father was a white Puerto Rican, whatever. He was part Italian and Puerto Rican, so he had that look. But but it was like, yo, like people order I don't drink. Outside my house I have wine maybe, but I'm not a big drinker. But I know when I go to some of these events, people would order the
Yeah.
Negroni. I'm like, what you say? That's a drink. You better put that down. You better call it something else.
Right. Name it something else.
But anyway, I'm
No.
sorry I got off on some tangent, but
No.
like I said earlier, y'all, I have known Epperson since I was 18 years old. We hit it off right away. I loved wearing his clothes every chance I got. But one thing is a little bit personal from my side. When I ever had a problem or was at a loss for solutions, or I just needed someone to talk to, your family, you, of course, were the head of it. Your family were there for me.
Wow.
I had that. Y'all took me in at a time when I really needed to get away from a situation, and y'all made me feel good at home. Of course, when you're a young person, you make mistakes, and those mistakes were not held against me as a young person. I remember I got beat up by some crazy person. And the first, where was I going to go? I went
Right.
to Epperson, and I was beat like a slave. I was hanging out with some guy who I thought was my friend, and then all of a sudden he's supposed to be a karate expert, and this dude leaves me to get beat up by some people because they wanted my chain, and I'm like, where is he? Where did he go? Baby, what
You know
step?
karate?
He supposed it was that guy Samson I used to work with the Radio City Music Only. He claims he knew karate, but he left my ass standing there while I got beat up. And then the second time when I got beat up completely, I was all alone. And of course, I went to my aunt's house that time. But yeah, it was like, y'all, you were right there for me, and made me feel safe and helped me get back. And when I was diagnosed with HIV, you're one of the first people that I told. And if I felt I needed to know that my friends were on my side, and you definitely were. And it was just, I just want to say thank you for being there. You never changed who you were, and you were just
Right.
a genuine friend. And
Right.
it wasn't lost on me. And also, Gail, your sister, told me to go apply at Radio City Music Hall. And once I got that job, it changed the trajectory of my
Wow.
life. I
Oh,
went
that's
through
cool.
craziness. It changed my life. I got to work with Madonna and Cyndi Lauper and get kissed in the lips by Cyndi Lauper after she won her award, and walk Madonna to the stage while she goes up that wedding cake, and witness her become a star. And it's work with Diana Ross for 5 days and stuff like that. And that was all because Gail told me, you better go apply for that job.
Wow. And that sounds just like Gail.
Yeah, she did. She said,
Really?
you're gonna go. And I did. And I worked with merchandising, and then eventually worked with the catering, and worked with Wesley Snipes when he was, selling souvenirs. And so Eddie Murphy, the first 2 MTV Awards, I'm working there. So it's just,
Wow.
my life is, the Eppersons had a big part in my life. It's really,
Yeah.
definitely. So I just wanted to get that in before, we keep going. But so.
That's nice, because normally people, say something this nice, when a person's standing there and there are flowers all around, and there's, a photograph or
Right.
a box. He was this, he had no idea what he did for me,
Yeah. Tell them now.
Thank you. I totally appreciate that, because it's like, we need to, especially with what's going on now, we have to totally take advantage of what we have. It's great that we're talking like this, but it's like we're talking, we're doing, it's like we're reaching out and we're sharing, because a lot of people are going through so much more than what we can only even imagine. But there's hope.
There's definitely hope. Now, speaking of hope, this is a great thing. You met this wonderful woman and you started this amazing family. I remember when your wife Lisha was pregnant with your youngest son. I was in New York City, and I think that was the first time I met her in person, because I wasn't able to go to the wedding, but my mom went to your wedding. They got married
Right,
on my
right,
birthday, so I can never forget your anniversary, because it's on my birthday. So you picked a really
right.
good day. But I fell in love with her that moment I met her, and
Yeah.
I can see what you saw in her. So just give me a little bit, just tell me what it is about her that makes her so Lisha.
Well, you know what? First of all, she and I, we met on the train, the one train going uptown.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with Dale
Wow.
and Dale and Imani at the time. We were, he was like 7, and we were going up to our friends. Do you remember Tracy? Tracy
Oh yeah.
Broderick?
Yeah, yeah.
Broderick? Yeah,
Mhm.
we were going up to her house, and because her son Rourke was turning 1. So
Wow.
we had a birthday party. He's grown. These kids are grown now, right?
Right, yeah, yeah.
But that's the only way I know I'm getting older.
Yeah.
And really, so then, yeah, we were on a train, and I had flowers. We were taking to Tracy, and I looked over and saw Alicia, and she looked back at me, and then we ended up getting on the train. She got in one car, the next car, she came into my car. When I tell the story, I was like, yeah, she was climbing through the window, on the edge of the train, when the train, she jumped in. She really did. It's scaling. And then she steps in, we're looking at each other like this, door to door. And then she turns around, and I grab one of the flowers, walk behind her, and the rest is history.
You got game, man.
I guess. No, no. And then she rode uptown with us, and we exchanged numbers and we connected. But I would say what makes her, what was the question? Like being, what?
Just what makes her just so Alicia, she's so special, and just she has a great spirit, and I just wanted,
Yeah.
you know, what made you fall in love, that, what was that one thing? If you don't want to get too deep, I'm just want to just like,
No,
there's something
I
about
can
her.
get sort of deep. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like I pray a lot. I prayed a lot forever, right? And I said, Lord, just, why don't you just, I would love a beautiful, just a little beautiful ballerina, real simple, just really simple like that. She's a ballerina.
I know.
No, it was really like that.
Wow.
And so so from that point on, we got together and we were together, and then, we, you get together and it's rushing so fast, and we separated for like a year and a half, and then, we got back together, and yeah, she's funny.
Mhm.
She's like so funny. She's so serious. She's determined. She's she gets me.
That's good. Yeah.
She gets me, and at the same time, she's like one of the few people that could put me in my place and
Mhm.
make me have to think, because
Okay.
I feel like I'm, I did a lot of growing myself on my own.
Mhm.
My business, self-taught. Growing up, I felt sort of self-taught. My mom passed away when I was 14, so it's
Mhm.
like 14, from 14 to I'm 61 now.
Mhm.
I've been always making decisions, making
Mhm.
choices, and being the best dad I could be, because I grew up without a dad.
Mhm.
So, and that's something I could thank my dad for, not being with me,
Right.
because I'm doing everything. I'm doing the opposite of what he did.
Right. Wow.
Opposite.
Mhm.
So by doing the opposite of what he did, I won a long time ago, but I
Right.
just improving, 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 and improving. I have 5 kids.
Right.
One's 35, 34.
Right.
This is 10. You know, but yeah, Lee, she's awesome.
She's special. Yeah. Yeah. I felt that. And I know you both are very religious, and you go to church, and
Yeah,
you practice what you preach, what you give out. You also, it's not just words.
right,
You feel that, and it's true. And
right.
I get that. And yeah, I started to study Buddhism, and I still do, but I'm still a Christian. So it's like,
Uh,
I don't explain them both, but I tell you, every day, I thank God every day that there's no reason. I don't even question why I'm a survivor. Why am I still here? Why didn't I, die, basically? Why didn't I get, and I can't ask him why. I just say thank you. Thank
yeah,
you
no,
for that.
absolutely.
thank you
Right.
for that.
There's a reason you're still here.
Yes. And I'm not going to question it. And I'm just going to just move forward. And the lessons that I've learned along the way, I need to give back to others. I don't know if you know that when I first got diagnosed, I decided to eat everything and drink everything and take these crazy drugs because I wanted to not go to sleep. And then I kept getting better and better. I'm like, well, you need to stop doing all that stuff. And I just quit all that stuff. And then boom, I did get fat for nothing wrong with y'all being fat, but I didn't like it on myself. So I gained 50 pounds in 1 year.
Wow.
And then I decided I'm going to go to New York and talk to Epperson. Now, Epperson is a true friend. He tells it like it is. We can be kind sometimes, but we were going to meet downtown at a subway station. And I come out of the train and I see Epperson from a distance, and I hear him saying, "Seely," but his eyes are going, "Whoa, what happened?" He was like, instead of like Seely, he's like, "Seely."
You are asking Akitata.
And you're like, what have you been eating? Well, you put me at ease, and I know you wanted to go, dang. But I don't think we didn't discuss that until later. But how big I got.
No, like Medea would say, you let yourself go.
Yeah, right. And you still going. I didn't realize how big I was until I looked back at pictures.
Right.
I'm like, oh, wow, who the heck was that? I gave my housemate one of my old shirts, and it's a nightgown. It comes almost down to her ankles. Yeah.
Wow. It was tight on you, right?
Yeah, it was tight. You can see like the triple rolls. I'm like, oh, that was just not me at all. So thank you for that look, because it helped. I was like, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna jog, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, I just stopped eating crap. And
it's great. It's great, like just seeing you and talking to you, because you've been through stages, different, like scary times,
yeah.
But you were still so persistent. You said what you wanted to do, and you're like, throughout the years, I'm an extra here, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm doing this. Check me out here. And it's like, he's doing it. A lot of people talk about it.
Right.
So many people talk about it. And you may not be at the level you feel like you should be at, but there's still time.
Right.
Yeah, there's still time.
Yeah.
No, it's not over.
Yeah. And I think about that all the time because, like I said, they told me to pack it up. I mean, it didn't happen. So I was like, wait, I need to keep going, just not complaining about it.
Right. They who?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And at that time it was a different story. And now that I'm at a point where it's called U equals U, I'm undetectable. So therefore I can never pass it on to anyone else. And I used to worry about like falling and bleeding like everywhere. I'm like, what? It's just, it wasn't rational. It was just a part of, dealing with this virus. And now that we've gotten to this point, there's no cure, but I'm at a point where they can't even find it in my system. It's like, whoa. This is amazing. So I need to just keep going and talk about it. That's one thing I'm not secretive about it. I have, I let people know that I've been positive for almost half my life. And the ups and downs were crazy. And one of the main reasons why I'm still here is I wasn't alienated by anyone. Even if they might have said something behind my back, I can care less. But in front of me, I've always had people there for me, and I had a support system of family and friends, extended family. So that's one thing that kept me going. And people calling me out on like, look, don't give up, keep going. So thank you, Epperson. Oh, my brother. So now you're a dad. You have 5 children. What's it like being a dad? And he's a grandfather too. You wouldn't even look at him. He looks 12. You look 25.
Yeah, right. 12, 25. Keep going.
I know, right?
No, it's great. It's great because I'm learning so much from each one of them. From my oldest one, he has his family. He has 3 children. Imani.
Yeah.
he started out with basketball and he's still playing ball, but he's been that person that just like moving through life,
Right.
and beautiful person, like
Hmm.
the same person. He's six
Right.
eight. We greet each other with a hug and a kiss.
Yeah.
Um, my the next one, Leachai. He's at Tufts. He's in college now, and he's this he's like our brain. He's
Uh,
like, oh, ask Leachai. Leachai, ask him. He knows.
right.
He's that
Okay.
kid.
Hmm.
He just got a job on campus, so his first job. He's so excited.
Cool. Oh.
Um, when he first came home from college, from due to the virus,
Hmm.
I took over his bedroom as my sewing room.
Okay.
So I had my mannequins all lined up, and he's back home, and all of a sudden my mannequins are wearing baseball caps. I'm like, his baseball, and his clothes thrown in front. It's just like, okay, when is he going back?
I know.
But and now she's an ice skater. She's like
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh God, I love seeing a
She's
black girl
great.
on ice.
She does.
It's amazing. Yeah, she's fabulous. I love her.
Yeah, and
Have never met. I love
she's
it. I'm sorry. What you
no,
say?
you never met him, right?
No,
Right.
but
You gotta
I
meet
follow you on
next
Instagram.
time you come to New York.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I see on ice and I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, look at this black girl magic on ice. It's amazing. It's amazing. We need more like that for sure.
Then there's Chyla. Chyla, she's 12. She's the one that's 12. She was like,
Wow.
if you look at the film when I was on Project Runway, Chyla is a baby that was in our arms. So she's
Wow.
12 now. She's
Wow.
tall. She's amazing. Then we have Ade. Ade is the youngest. He's 10.
Yeah.
He's a
Wow.
character.
Yeah.
He keeps us cracking up.
He has your
He's really,
face, obviously.
yeah, yeah, he's a
So
character.
yeah, that's amazing. I'm really am happy for your family. I love seeing pictures of it. I love all of it. It's great. Um, so let's get back to what's going on with Epperson's career right now. I saw your beautiful display, so let people know what's going on with you. And yeah.
Okay, now it's my clothing are in an exhibition at Nordstrom's,
Hmm.
and you have like the men's window. It's I have an outfit in the men's window. Yeah, I'll pass you all that information
Yeah,
after.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And there are like three different outfits on the fourth floor. So it's an exhibit, that um, Nordstrom decided to, pull together all these beautiful, amazing Black artists,
Okay.
and it's yeah. The curator, his name is Solio. He
Okay.
pulled together all these different artists, it's a beautiful, beautiful show. It's been going on since September 11th, and it's
Okay.
going to be until the 29th of this month.
Oh wow.
And what else? It's a pop-up shop, so my clothing is selling there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh wow. Okay. And North
that's
Shore. That's
yeah,
oh my God,
yeah,
I love that. Wow.
yeah. It's really cool, really cool.
Wow.
And I just recently shot my spring summer 2021 collection of Mark Baptiste, an amazing photographer. He's genius. And Louis Brown, he assisted, he's like basically like assistant director,
Mhm.
directing the fashion with me. And what these amazing models, they all came together,
Right.
and we shot on the beach. It's just the beautiful, the
Beautiful.
show is basically, you know, has everything to do with what's happening now.
Okay. Hmm.
Like the pandemic that
Right.
mixed with this whole social thing that's going on,
Hmm.
and it's really interesting. The collection starts out they're wearing black, so it's like sort of like the black looks like they're mourning at first, but
Okay.
then once we finish mourning, because so many people died, so many
Right.
people
Oh
lost
yeah.
their lives.
Mm.
Once we finish mourning, you know, they became warriors. So like you'll see on the black images, you'll see
Hmm.
the images.
Hmm.
They're just standing there like soldiers. And then from that, it was like it bleeds. It's like phase two. We bleed into like a plaids, mixtures of prints, mixtures of textures, and everything. And when I did that, I was feeling like all these different nationalities are coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it before,
Wow.
which is the rallies. Let's think about Million Man March. Let's think about the Black Lives Matter. Let's
Right.
look at the amount of different people that are out there. They weren't all black.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
It's such a mixture that we've never seen before.
Right.
You know,
It's
all
crazy.
walking for the same. You
It's
know,
inspiring.
so with
Definitely.
that,
Mm-hmm.
no, it really is. So
Mm-hmm.
this pause that we're on,
Right.
it's like the planet is purging. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so
Mm-hmm.
like it seems like God said, okay, I'm gonna give you guys another opportunity to get this right
Right.
because it's screwing it up. I'm
Right.
giving you another
Exactly.
opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and with each one of us, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we could be down and out right now, and it's like, okay, you're gonna be down and out, or you're gonna dig deeper and find something that you can work on.
Right.
You are
Exactly.
something that you can work on, and then by you working on it, once you get out of this, it's like, wow, you moved on. But
Right.
if you holding on to whatever that was, you're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
left behind. You know.
Absolutely.
So once you all of these amazing people coming together, we're standing again. You know,
Right.
and now that we're standing, now we can look at the whole. It blends right into off whites and creams and
Mm-hmm.
organzas flowing and stuff like that. Yeah, you have to see it. As soon as you
Oh my
get off
gosh. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we dropped a teaser today, so you have to see it. It's
Okay.
on Epperson, Instagram, Epperson,
Okay.
EPPRSON. You'll do all that. And
Yeah. Yeah. I'll do all that. Yeah. Just you're gonna email me all that stuff, and I'll put it up on our on the links. I'll put all the links up and everything. It'll
yeah,
be.
totally. No, it's this, and like with that, it's like a new beginning. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
birth. It's like you got to see it. You'll
Exactly.
totally
I'm
appreciate it.
excited.
And it's like, this show is basically called Rebirth.
Rebirth.
It's like starting
Nice.
all over.
Wow.
Rebirth. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, you come
It's
a long
like the
way from
team
those.
that came
I remember we
together.
used to do the church fashion shows back in the day and stuff like that. I remember
Yes.
those.
But remember, step by step, because
Yes.
steps.
Yep. Exactly. Those were fun
Yeah.
back in the 80s, actually. We were
I
always
remember.
always the group that weren't tacky. There's always a tacky. It's like, wait a minute, what? We always blew people
Right.
away. They're like, wow.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. We're
always that.
always that group. Yeah.
Yes. It was.
And
I
and,
remember.
and, and like even to
I remember one
go on.
time you were telling the story. There was a fashion show, and this woman was throwing the baby up in the air. And I don't remember, but
Oh
she
my God,
threw
you
it in the
remember that?
mist. You remember?
Yes, I remember that.
Like, what the heck was
I was like, first of all, like she's showing off. Why is she? The
yeah.
baby just moved a little. Oh my gosh, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. It was
Right over her
horrifying.
head. Oh,
So don't be doing that on the church fashion shows, y'all. Don't be throwing babies up in the air. I don't
yo,
know why I brought that up, but
I totally forgot that.
yeah,
I forgot so much. Gail remembers everything. She'll
I know.
like, oh, this happened and that happened. Details. I'm like,
Yeah. It's like,
did that really happen?
mhm.
Because I don't remember it, jack.
Shoot, how's
I
Gail
guess I
doing?
do selective memory, huh?
How's Gail doing? And
Good. She's good. She has a daughter. She's
yeah,
teaching. She's great.
yeah.
That's good.
Tell her I said hi. Say, Bingo said hi. Everybody calls me. I've gotten so many different names: Bosco, Brusco, Bingo. Who's Bingo?
There you go. Yeah.
Frisco,
Right.
Frisco. It's just.
Yeah. Just whatever. As long
Yeah.
as they call you. As long as they call you.
Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry. I just got a text from the next person I'm interviewing, and he pushed it to 5, which is fantastic because after we're done, I can do my audition video. And
Oh,
because
good.
I was worried about perfect, I'm gonna go. Okay, I just want to say yes. Okay, that's it. Done. And I thought I might turn my phone down, but I didn't. You see me looking
Right.
down, like trying to. So
No, I thought you were falling asleep.
no, no, no. And then that would be messed up.
Would be.
Finally get you on this thing and being face to face after so many years, and then I'm like,
Mhm.
it's like
So
no,
you know what? Before we both have to reach out to Violet because
yes, yes.
yeah,
I
we have to reach out to her.
I'm gonna do that. I think I still have her phone number. I hope I do, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely reach out. She's I can't believe that the same thing happened with you when you did Project Runway. You came here, you left after it was done, and I had just moved to LA. Well, I
Yeah.
lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. As soon as that was when I moved here, Violet moved like right around the corner from where I live. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on?
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, so she's not far. It's only like 5 hours away. I can just, when this is, hopefully I can go back and visit people because I still have a few people there. My sister June used to live, because my brother-in-law, one of them used to be the general manager of the Oakland Raiders. So she lived in the Bay Area, but now they moved. So I just have my best friend Shelly there and Violet. So I can just, and a few other friends that I've known for quite a few years. But so now, I would love to reach out to her and make sure she's okay and everything. But she looks
So
fantastic.
this whole setup right here, it's like, I really don't do Zoom and all that mess.
Yeah, I know.
I know I have to get into it because this is it for a while. And so like I'm sitting here and I'm talking and I'm looking at you. What is this gonna look like? Are we gonna be side by side?
Well, yeah, what's gonna happen is when we do the introduction, the way he'll put my face up first and I have to do the intro, and then they'll come to the two shot. We're gonna be flipped though, but it's gonna look like we're gonna be side by side next to each other.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
but you're gonna be on the other side. I don't know how he does it, but he does it.
I was like, okay, I'm sitting here talking to you like this, but
yeah, it's this is interesting. It took me a while to figure out how to do this. My sister taught me how to get all this stuff done, and some days it works, and some days it decides not to. I'm like, please, not now.
Yeah.
Like
Lee was concerned about that.
I was having a
she's
time.
She had a church service because she's
okay.
Like, she's really serious, so, ready to be ordained, right?
Right.
And she's did a service today, and she was really concerned with like the lighting and how to do it, and she says she's not a perfectionist, but she's a perfectionist, and which is which she could be, but yeah, she's dynamite.
I know.
Sharing the word, she's on it.
That's good. Yeah, she's an amazing woman, amazing, and I'm so proud that I know y'all. It's like, seriously, I was like, we've been, like I said, we've been friends for so long, and it's just it lasts, friendship that lasts, and without expectations. You know what I mean? That's another thing. It's like, we just want each other to be decent people, and and no judgment and all that. And I really appreciate that. People say, I appreciate you. I'm trying to use that phrase, but I appreciate you.
Right.
I'm crazy. I know. So, you already told me what's up next for Epperson. So, is there anything that you would like to any kind of message you would like to leave the audience before we go?
Yeah, I would like to, for everybody to just, we're going through a rough time now. We're all going through something. Everybody's going through something, and we have to. This is like an opportunity for us to dig deeper, dig deeper. And there's something there. There's a part of you. There's a part of your brain that needs to be awakened.
Right.
So just dig a little deeper. We're going to get through this. God is still with us. Never leave us nor forsaken us. So he's still with us. So we just have to trust and just keep moving. If it's something that you wanted to do, now we've never had this pause where we can do stuff. This is a pause. So you can do it. If we go through this and you still didn't do it, then okay, you know what? You weren't supposed to do it. You were just talking.
100%.
And you're going to keep talking. So it's like, and if you're an entrepreneur, let's think about it. You've been doing this all along. Let's think about the people that's been working full time, every day, clocking in. Now they don't have a job. So now they have to figure out how they're going to do things. They have to figure out, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. I'm going to start my business where I've always wanted, and they're doing it.
Right.
But we've been doing it, so we're not above, but we have so much more knowledge with that.
Right.
So
right.
Now is not time to sleep.
Right.
Now is not time to yourself up. It's time to just keep moving. And you gotta vote. Please vote. Vote. And these idiots that say, I'm not gonna vote because what's the difference? It's like, you know what? That's the difference. You say you're not gonna vote, that is the difference.
Because you're basically, if you don't vote, you're giving it to this man.
Right.
Yeah.
How about the fly land? You know where flies land. How about that?
That's that's the first thing I thought of. I was just like, wait a minute, he's so full of it. The fly is like, and it wouldn't even leave. It wouldn't leave.
No, he was just like, he was here. I'm here to stay.
It was perfect timing. The time he
It
landed.
landed on that one's head. No, it landed on that one's head, and it comes out the other one's mouth.
For real. So true. It's so funny. They already have a costume for Pence. It's already it's a mask with the fly is gigantic. It's bigger than its head. It's like a fascinator in English.
No, no. Saturday Night Live is going to have a ball with this.
I know. Oh my
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's right. It came on last night. I didn't see it. I'm gonna watch.
I didn't either. They have. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness!
Like the fly is just clump.
I know. That's great. It's amazing.
I was just like we were watching. I was like, Lee. Lee, that's a fly on his head. And she was like, no. I'm like, that's a fly on his head. And it's a fly. It's a big fly.
I was texting a friend of mine and I said, oh, that fly is going to be famous tomorrow. And that's exactly what happened.
That fly is going to go down in history.
The
fly is going down in history.
That fly is going
to. I should do a collection called The Fly shirt.
I still, it's so funny. I have a crush on this actor, Wentworth Miller. He used to be on the show Prison Break. And I said, when I moved to Los Angeles, I'm going to meet him. And I was here for 2 months. And I was in this restaurant. I come out of the restaurant and I'm in my car buckling my food. And he walks by and almost, so I called my friend that moved to LA. I was like, Aurora, what do I do? Wentworth Miller just walked by. She's just go back in there. I said, well, I just left. She goes, who cares? So the reason I'm telling you, figure out what I'm telling the story. I go into the restaurant and I see him and he goes to the soda machine. So I walk over to him now I forgot that I have on the shirt from the show, the movie, The Fly 2. And it's a big fly in the front and it says, help me, right? And when you turn around, it says, again, okay? It's this weird. So I go up to him, Mr. Miller, I'm trying to be all, and he turns around and I couldn't talk because his eyes were so mesmerizing and he puts his hand out to shake and I'm holding his hand and I'm just like, what I said to the man, I'm like, I would just kill myself if I didn't tell you what a huge fan of yours I am. I'm like in my mind, did you say kill yourself? Did you just say yourself?
You said all that?
Yeah, no, in my mind, I was thinking that. I was like, did you just say kill yourself? Ooh,
wait. That's sort of like Tracy Ross when she talks and she's standing over here talking.
Yeah.
And then, okay, because I was like,
no. I was in my mind. So I'm like, look, back up, just leave. So I said, well, it's nice to meet you. He goes, nice to meet you. Even though I didn't even just tell him my name or anything. So I get to the door of the restaurant, I'm leaving, and I turn around and I go, and he's like, okay. 2 days later, I'm in Starbucks and he walks in. And he does one of those, it's that guy.
Right.
Now, he comes behind me in line and we're walking, and I look at him, I see him, I don't say anything. I don't know what, I already told him I was going to kill myself. So I'm like, I'm not, just keep quiet. So we go to you go to Starbucks, they ask your name for your coffee. I'm standing there waiting. He comes next to me again, stands there waiting. Bosco? They call my own like Briscoe. And I look at him, I said, my name is Briscoe. He looks at me and he goes, Then we started laughing and I left and I kept bumping into him. I'm like, I hope this man doesn't think I'm stalking him. We lived in the same area. So the very last time I saw him was at the same restaurant. I go to open the door and a hand opens the door for me and I look and it's him. And I said, oh, thank you. And he goes, you're welcome. And I was like, is he looking at my butt? Then he came out and as gay. And the reason why he was depressed at the time that I met him. And he was very suicidal and he wanted to kill himself. And I go to him that day and say, I hope you don't. So me saying I was going to kill myself, I don't know what it did to him, but maybe it brought him to his senses or whatever. But he didn't kill himself. He's still here. So maybe he needed
Wow.
my crazy butt to say something that I didn't really want to say. Because there's no, I'm never gonna kill myself. I didn't. You're not that good, you know.
Right.
What I wanted to say was, I would just die if I didn't tell you what a huge fan of yours I am. But you know me, my fumbling on my words. But it was a weird encounter. And then he moved out of the neighborhood because some woman stalked him and went to his house. I'm like, girl, why did you go to his house? I like bumping into him doing our errands, but whatever. But it was just a weird thing that I had that fly shirt on. So now I kept it. I kept that shirt. I still have it. So so goofy. So no. And then I worked with his ex-boyfriend on the movie. And every time he saw me, he would laugh or smile. I'm like, oh, was he waiting for him in the car or something? And he told a
It's
story
crazy.
about this crazy man, and then reckon, oh, that's him right there. That's that fat guy that came up to me. No, I lost weight by then. But anyway, so that's my little story. I don't know. This was supposed to be about Epperson, and I just went off on this whole tangent. So
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we're still taping.
yeah, we're still taping. I just went on and just
Oh.
blah, blah. So now see, now you get a kind of a
It's like, oh, it is your show.
yeah. No, it's so funny because I interviewed a guy recently, Jay Rodriguez from the original Career for the Straight Guy, and I purposely Jay is I love Jay to death, but I let him talk a lot because he was making a lot of great points, and sometimes I was getting real emotional, so I had to keep my mouth shut because I want to start crying on the show, but I can hear one of my producers go, oh, you really let him take a run away with the show. I said, yeah, because he was making good points. I'm not going to interrupt those because I can go on a tangent like I just did with you because I've known you forever.
Where's the producer? Where's the producer?
Hmm? Oh, my friend Miguel, he produces. Even though I'm doing this all right here by myself, but he was the original co-creator and producer on the original Real Talk, and he's the one that said, "Hey, you need to bring this show back," and he helped me figure out what we're doing right now because I didn't know. Him and my sister got me enough knowledge in this to just do what we're doing right now, and also I uh, convert them to a file and then I email them later. I'm like, I never thought I'd be able to do any of this. Shoot, I mean, reading that stuff is crazy.
Yeah, a
But
lot.
I want to tell you one thing before we go. I do have a little teeny sewing machine. I do hems now and uh, little stitches. That's it. I can't put a button on, but it's one of those little ones when you little pedal ones that you get from the little teeny one.
Right.
But I was feeling like you and my mother. Yeah, but I didn't want to like do like, because I'm sure you have done this before. Have gotten a needle going through your finger and stuff like that. I mean,
Actually, no. My
oh,
mom
good,
did,
good.
but I've never. Not,
My mom did that. I was watching Project One Way a couple of seasons ago, and one of the lady girls did that right on camera. Of course, they wanted to keep it on.
of course.
Oh, I didn't have to keep that part because
No, they
I'm
didn't.
gonna cut that out. It was like it was like for suspense, and then all of a sudden it got out. She's like, "Oh, I'm fine." But anyway, craziness. But so how's life in New York? Before we go, I just want to figure out how life in New York has changed from the times that I was in there. I know that Times Square is sort of like Disneyland in a way, the way it used to be. There's no cars in and out, or they clean up all the.
Yeah, right. You can't drive through.
You
It's
can now. Mm.
it's not the same,
Oh,
and
okay.
you're not talking about now, because now it's a whole nother world.
Right. No, I mean
'Cause
before COVID happened. Mm.
oh yeah, prior to that, it was. I'm sort of tired of it.
Mhm.
I mean, and then the fact that I could design anywhere. So I don't even know where I'd like to be, but New York is not what it was.
Okay.
And everybody from everywhere else is here. So every little cool borough that there was.
Right.
Fort Greene was Fort Greene. Now it's, they're trying to change every name.
Right.
You
It's
know,
crazy.
so hard, so hard. South of Houston, what the hell is that?
Come on.
Yeah, like stuff,
This,
little things like that. Because
yeah.
you just come in and just shift everything up.
Hmm.
But the difference is that you can, like when back in the day, we would have to go all the way to 116th Street to buy the New York Times.
Right. Right. That's
You could buy it anywhere, and
right.
that was the last 20 years.
Mhm.
But Starbucks was on every corner.
Right.
Um, just everything is now it's more accessible
Okay.
since it's a whole new group of people that moved in to
Right.
the neighborhoods.
Right. So is Harlem being totally gentrified right
Yeah,
now? Mm. Okay. So I might not even recognize some of my old streets anymore.
no, you are.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
You know what I mean? There's still people hanging out on
Mm.
corners and stuff. But it's
Right.
like But other than that, it's people walking their dogs and pushing their babies down the street.
Well, okay. Oh, so it changed quite a bit. I can't wait to come back to New York to see you in person, see your family, see Gail and Ritza and everybody, just everybody. Shoot, yeah. Yeah, I cannot believe that Imani, that you're a grandfather. This is amazing. That's
Yeah, I've been one for like 15 years.
wow, that's great. And he looks like your
No,
twin. It's just amazing how much you look alike. You and your
yeah,
oldest. Yeah,
he's
yeah. So
he's he's
this
like
is
six
so.
eight.
Hmm? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
He's 6'8.5".
What? Wow, really?
Tall.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow. The one he's playing basketball, he needs to be. Wow. Yeah, he's a mini you, but not. I guess not a mini you. Giant you.
no,
That is so
I
great.
mean,
I remember when he was first born, and I think I was when I slammed Rich's finger in the cab door.
mm,
I was full of accidents. I was very accident prone. She's like, open the door. My finger's in the door. I'm like, okay. Let's just slam a pregnant woman's hand in the door. She still loves me though. She still loves me.
he probably didn't feel it.
Hmm? No, she probably didn't.
He probably didn't even feel it.
Sure. But you know what? I'll just keep talking and just go on and just reminiscing about stuff that people do not want to hear about. You're like, we weren't there. We don't care. Oh my
Exactly.
goodness. I
Like
am.
I'm trying to figure which button I press so this ends.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm going to press the. See, this is why I love him. This is. He has not changed forever. This is the same dude. He was the same way.
Where's that
Oh,
button? It gotta
one
be around
last, one last thing for sure. I swear,
somewhere.
I would be so remiss if I didn't bring this up. When I first met Epperson, I had recently come from having my afro, so I let my natural curly hair come back, and I had this style. I used to put it behind my ears, and Rodney
Oh,
liked my hairstyle. But then I decided one day to cut off all my hair and have this long tail that was, no, it wasn't long at first. At first, it was a curly, Shirley Temple curl in the back of my head. And all I did was and it would shrink up to this little weird thing. So he hated that tail.
I did too. Violet and I was just recently talking about that too. It was like, oh God, here he is with that little stupid tail. And it's like, you remember you used to play with it all the time? I'm like, yeah, Violet, I remember. Yo, we were just talking about you not long ago. Because I told her that we are going to be doing this. I said, we're going to interview me. She said, oh God, I hope you don't bring up that stupid tail.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he did. Wait till I
I
tell her.
kept that.
He did.
I, I kept that thing till it started. It got all the way down. When I moved to California, my mom's friend used to do the braids. I got her to braid it with the bead on the bottom, and I used to give myself a black eye because I would dance and smack my. So one day I said, snip. I should have sent it
Wow.
to you in the mail. I should have sent it.
I would have sent it to Violet.
Yeah. Just go around. But yeah, I remember that. And you were just, yeah, you were very, very honest about the fact that you did not like that tail. And that it just made me, I never got mad. It was just hilarious. Somebody asked if I could grow my hair back now. I said, no, it'd be the most wispiest thing going on.
No.
That's why, like I said, that's why I love you, Epperson. You've always been a honest and a true friend. And here's to another 40 years. Because you know what, like I told my friend the other day, hey, the older I get, the younger old is. So when somebody's 90, I'm like, he died. He had like 5 more hours. He was like, so we're gonna live till we are some like 100-year-old man talking about. Remember that time?
That's long.
Yeah. But we're still gonna look like this.
Right.
You know?
Totally. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how we lose hair here, but we grow extra hair here? I can grow the beard. Mine is all white, which is interesting.
Yeah, mine's white-ish.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just have the long Fu Manchu
Right.
in white. So the next time we get back together, you'll be seeing that. You're like, there'll be another one. Oh, with beads and tail. Oh, reverse tail.
See,
Yeah, and then we can go visit Violet with the tails. So we can do that. So, but Epperson, I'm gonna let you get back to your Sunday. I just want to thank you so much for being with me on my show. I've been wanting this for a long time. We're gonna have links to everything Epperson, so you guys can check out his fashion. I'm not gonna just blow his own, like blow his head up real big, but the man is fantastic. I'm not just saying that because you're my friend. You have been ahead of the times with your wardrobes. I mean, with your designs, and you're gonna still continue to be ahead of the curve. And I love that. And I'm gonna stop talking because I can go on and on. But I just want to tell you, all you viewers, if you have a dream in your heart and a plan, it's never too late. Can you
Right.
tease it?
That's true.
All right, Epperson, thank you so much, brother. I love you, and
Love you too, brother.
I will
And
talk to you soon.
thank you for having me on The Real
Talk.
Talk.
We're gonna get
Yeah.
it. We're
Wait,
gonna
wait.
get it. It's
No,
awesome.
no. Oh,
Oh,
thank you for having
thank
me on
you.
The Real Talk
Yes. Oh,
show.
I appreciate that so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay. You
Take
have a
care.
good one. Bye.
Bless you, brother.
Miss you too.